All right, what up, y'all? Thanks for stopping back in. Today, we are going to continue our top 10 favorite movies. If you guys are following the channel and also the Ghost Arcade channel where I'm posting both of these, I do have Ghost back in studio, or I should say still in studio, because we're just breaking this video into separate parts. We went through his 10 through 6 to begin with. So for this one, we're going to dive into my 10 through 6 before we get into our top 5s each. So thanks for stopping in, guys, and I'll link all the videos together so you guys can make sure to catch all of them to see our top 10, so you can dispute or talk shit or whatever you want to do in the comments section. So all good, man. Here we go. I'm going to kick this thing off on my list, number 10. And if you guys watched the other video, the first one that we put out, you guys will know that I talked about this already. My list has changed numerous times since we started, so this is kind of just where I'm at right now, and I'll kind of give some explanations for mine. Number 10 for me fell in place with Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh, yeah, dog.
I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie.
Gotcha.
I saw this movie for the first time on TV one time. It was just on, and I watched it, and it took me probably 2 years of looking at Blockbuster before I found like the picture of the characters, because I didn't even know what it was called. We're talking back to the time when the TV didn't tell you what the show was that was on, right?
Yeah.
So I had no idea what it was. I just know that I watched this really kick-ass movie and had no idea what it was. So I finally figured out what it was, and was able to move forward in the world knowing what this movie was that I love so much. But man, what a great movie. It's nice and long. It tells a real nice long story. There's
fantastic.
I mean, it's this journey of this poor kid who's kind of, doesn't get a lot of street cred in his gang, because he's of a whiter complexion as far as the Hispanics go, but he's fully he's a Hispanic guy, so but it follows him along and his him and his friends doing typical gang shit and whatever, just hooligan activities, and then him going to prison for a stint and what happens while he's in prison.
For my brown brothers. Sorry, no tortilla. Wait a minute. There's a ray of sunshine in all that darkness down there. Come up here, sweetness.
And getting out and trying to make it, and man, just this one just I don't know, man. It hits me, man. I just really like it. And I remember not a lot of people that I was familiar with had really ever seen the movie. I actually remember seeing at your house one time.
Oh yeah, dog.
Just going through your movies and stuff that you had actually had it. You had it on the shelf, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I didn't even know somebody else knew about this movie, so I borrowed it from you for about 3.5 years. Something like that, right? I had it for a minute, man. I apologize for that.
No disrespect. I'm still going on 13, bro.
Do I have it still?
Yeah, dog.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, my
man,
bad.
It's all good, man. It's in way better hands, and it'll get way better use, bro. Yeah.
Oh, damn, dude. I could have sworn I gave it back. That's like the Blockbuster rental still chilling under my bed, right? Yeah, shit. The late fees are going to fuck me on this one. My bad.
Nah, it's all good, dog. It's all good. That's, of course, shit. You already know, man. That's no worries.
Oh,
nope.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Top 10. There we go, right? Oh, man. Anyway, on to number 9.
Man, but before you go, D, if you don't mind me adding in, brother.
Go for it.
I'll be honest, D. I can see why you relate to it, and hopefully you're okay with me adding this to you, man.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of, especially from what you've told me of your childhood, man.
Right.
Especially with you and your brother, of how, of course, you have, of course, gone on to the integrity route, and your brother kind of went on to maybe a darker path. But
definitely. You're right, man. It definitely hit home a lot harder, man. And part of the movie is the struggle between, there are two brothers in the story. One ends up, he goes into the Marines, and then he's a cop after that, and the other one, falls into some hard times or whatever. It's very, very, very close to home as far as what, me and my brother did. Mm-hmm. Me obviously going into the military and then law enforcement after that. And unfortunately, my brother getting the not better half of the bottle, and then end up passing away a few years ago. But definitely hits home. And it's kind of funny that even as those things in my life were unfolding, I think was part of the movie in itself when it was out, even that really resonated with me at the time, was that even going through it. So that definitely fits in there for sure.
Man, dude, one more thing I was gonna add about that movie too, brother. I might have told you this, D. I can't remember, but So the guy that reminds me of you, of course, it went the Marine route.
Right.
Whatever his name is, man. I actually got to meet him, man.
Did you really?
Yeah. I got
when?
Down in El Paso, Texas, at my grandparents' ranch, which was probably about 70 miles away from El Paso, east of it, and they were doing a movie called Juarez, I believe. And he was one of the main stars, man.
Nice.
And of course, he came in and. My mom was like, "This is so and so. He's a famous actor."
Of course, your mom knew. Like, oh, hey, it's so and so.
Yeah. Of course, at that time, brother, it was super. I was probably like 4, man. It's like 84, 85 or whatever, man.
That's cool.
He's like, "What's up, little man?" Rub my head. Like, "Oh, what's up, dog?"
Nice.
Yep.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. My only celebrity, totally off subject. My only celebrity run-ins. I ran into Rick Ross one time at the Las Vegas airport. He was getting on the tram thing or whatever, and he posted up against the wall like typical. So I was like, "Oh man, no shit, it's the boss," and he gave me a head nod, so it was all good. Then his crew came rolling in after him, just haggard, man, like rough, hella rough weekend.
Oh, got you.
They must have been partying, and maybe he had a show or I don't know, but it was hilarious, man. They were like 3 minutes behind him getting on the tram for sure.
Man, dog, when you said Rick Ross, man, I just heard that music. It's some type of wrestler, maybe John Cena.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's funny. Oh, man. Anyway, good times. Moving on. Number 9 for me. This is one I think my brother got me on, actually. This is Tears of the Sun.
Oh.
I really, really, really like this movie for a lot of reasons. This movie is dark. It's gritty. It's, I mean, if you guys aren't familiar with it, check it out. But it follows Bruce Willis is a Navy SEAL commander. He takes a team of Navy SEALs into, I believe it's an African village. They're trying to rescue some civilians. Well, they're trying to rescue this doctor initially. She's from like Europe or something, and she's a high value target. So they're trying to get her out of there because the country is going through some like ethnic cleansing type of horrific stuff or whatever. And so the team gets sent in and basically to remove her, but she puts up a pretty good fight, saying that she's not going to go without the civilians going. So they start moving out and having to move through the jungle and stuff and be quiet. And it's, super clandestine stuff, trying to get everybody out. And just a lot of twists and turns and emotion. I mean, there's, parts of it where they don't tell the group that they're taking that when they get to the LZ for the helicopter, the extraction point and stuff, that they're actually not taking them. They just lied to get her to go, and they put her on the helicopter, and she figures it out when they just leave everybody there and gets super mad and stuff. So they actually the team actually ends up going back in, and they're going to have to march on foot to get to a neighboring country's border before they can get out. Just like I said, there's a lot to unpack with that movie, and I think they did a fantastic job with it and just everything, encompassed within it or whatever. But
oh yeah,
I really, really like that one. That's definitely, that was one that I didn't have to consider being in the top 10. It moved around a little bit as I shifted a few movies around, but it was on there for sure, no matter what.
Oh yeah, D. Oh yeah. Man, brother, I actually have that part of my movie library on the Xbox with Dragon the Bruce Lee story.
Nice.
That possibly could be sitting in honorable mention for me as well, D.
Cool. Yeah, I really like that one.
Mandy, I'll be honest with you, brother, and I'm just gonna share it with y'all too, man. Of how those dudes are so close, man, and how they operated, especially when those, excuse my language, but those motherfuckers, man, when they were going into that village.
Oh yeah,
and raping the women, cutting off their breasts, man.
Right.
I know it's kind of graphic,
horrific
man,
stuff. Yeah,
these motherfuckers, man, of what they did to go get revenge and to go pay these motherfuckers back, and man, it just reminds me of what our group is and stands for, man.
For sure. I feel you on that 100%.
Yeah.
I love it. That's definitely one for me that I don't know that there's going to be a lot of movies that are going to push that one out, because I usually don't. My list doesn't kind of evolve where they stack and just push each other out. They just kind of insert here and there or whatever. But
yeah,
I think that one will always be. And even, honestly, on any given year, for a while there, probably for 2 or 3 years, that one might have been sitting in my number 3 slot, if not my number 1 slot for a while. My number 1 has been pegged down almost pretty much since it came out, and we'll cover that later on. But man, Tears of the Sun is a big one for me.
Oh yeah. Mandy, one more thing to add to that, brother, if it's cool.
Yep.
Man, of course you already know, Rip from Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
the tracker man or whatever you call it, man.
Yeah, he's one of the boys in there. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He's also the bad guy in Too Fast, Too Furious. I'm telling you what happened is, and my wife actually joked about this, that he's in witness protection.
He's in witness protection?
No, that he is from what his crimes were in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh.
That's why he's in Montana now on a ranch.
Got you, dog. Yeah. Got you.
He rolled on somebody,
Nice.
told him about some drug stuff, so they gave him a freebie and sent him to Montana.
Nice. Yep. Same character.
Yeah, right. Oh man, my number 8. My number 8's a new one actually. It just fell onto the list within the last couple months. Number 8 for me is the newest Spider-Man that just came out.
Yeah.
No Way Home.
Okay.
This one, and I told you this the other day, it's kind of surprising even to me that this made the list for me because I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan in the world. He is not by any means my favorite Marvel character, never really has been. But this movie for me, I don't know what it was, man. This one I went to 2 or 3 times in the theater, which is these days is a little bit rare for me. When I was a kid, I used to go see stuff a lot, like multiple times. It's got to be a real good one. If you guys follow the channel and you go watch my no bullshit assessment of Shang-Chi, you'll realize same thing. Even that one, as high as I praised that movie, I think I only went to that one twice. So this one I went to 3 times to see, and every single time I saw it, even knowing what was going to happen, still was just the emotional roller coaster, seeing, the old boys come back through and get their, kind of second wind of things and kind of seal up some of the loose ends they had leaving off of their movies. And honestly, even now the potential that maybe they'll get some new stuff, new movies for those boys as well is really, really cool.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about Tom Holland and Zendaya and stuff and how, or Zendaya, I don't know how you pronounce it, but either way, the way that they've evolved from the first one. The first 2 for me were fun. They were just kind of, feel good movies or whatever. But this one for me this had a lot, man. This really kind of, it hit on every cylinder, and it was kind of crazy to see that this series took till the 3rd one for Peter Parker's character to lose his loved one in Aunt May and stuff. So there was that. There's the future moving forward. He's got these other guys joining him for this fight that he just wants to go at, and and him really starting to look more adult and have his anger and wanting to release that and stuff. This just, I don't know, man. This one for me really, really just took off.
Oh, yeah, man. Mandy, I can remember in maybe 2011-ish, I can remember we were chilling at work together, and it was right around the time it was announced that the very first Amazing Spider-Man, so with the Garfield character or whatever, and I remember you saying, how many freaking times are we going to get a reboot or whatever of Spider-Man before they just stay consistent with it? Right. And man, of course, we finally get it, 10 years, 11 years later, man. Yeah.
And I love it, man. We've talked about this a lot. I talk mad shit about how they keep doing Batman dirty in all these damn movies, and it's just, we get a new Batman origin story every couple years. I was feeling that way with Spider-Man. Marvel, on the other hand, though, like you're saying, Marvel took what they had and they evolved it and they brought it all full circle for me. And I'll give full credit where credit is due. I definitely did, go about it and say what I said and this, that, and the other, and that Spider-Man was never really out there for me. He just wasn't. But these ones with Tom Holland really did respect for the character, in my opinion, as a whole, for the whole thing. It really brought me on board with the character and with Spider-Man, and even the old ones, like just being able to see, okay, like I wasn't a super huge fan of those movies, but I can respect what they did in them and how it culminated to this end. So loved it, man. I will be the first to say, I'm going to actually say that there's going to probably be a slot on here if the movie lives up to the hype. I'm very, very, very strongly considering that the new Doctor Strange coming out might take a spot in my top 10. I'm thinking. We'll see. We'll see. Moving on from Spider-Man, though, this is going to be one, I kind of explained this in the beginning, that in the other video, if I like a series of a couple of movies, if there's 2 or 3 that I really like and I have a hard time picking between them, I'll pick the first one. This one is going to be one of those for me. This one is Ninja Turtles, the original one from back in the day. The OG.
This is what we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Touch my body.
Oh shit. 100%. I picked the first one, even though I will say that I may lean a little bit towards Secret of the Ooze being a little bit better. We got the Super Shredder and that whatnot. But again, for me, this is what started it. And without the first one, the second one would have never happened. So it to me still is just something that it was one of those things that I grew up on Ninja Turtles, watching the cartoons and the movie, and it started my love not only for the series and the characters, but I mean, honestly, martial arts even, which you guys know if you watch my content is a huge part of my life. It's one of my true loves, you know? And so this for me can't not be on the list. This one will maintain probably a mid-range ranking for eternity. It just has to be. It definitely is a part of me. Part of my list too, and I didn't explain this, but the way I kind of structure my list even is I don't necessarily pick what I think are the top 10 best movies, obviously, that have ever been made, but they're the top 10 favorites to me. And I think the ones that I picked, they all own a certain space within my history, right? Within my life. And this is kind of a good example of it. This for me was, again, it was kind of my intro really into martial arts and the love for that and how that expanded into Bruce Lee stuff and all kinds of other, you know, avenues martial arts wise. So this for me is incredible. The story is great. The fact that we got that quality of a Ninja Turtle movie back then and we haven't been able to come anywhere near that now. Like, what are they doing, man? What are they doing? I know Ernie Reyes is still out there kicking ass. Put him back in a fucking suit.
Ernie Reyes, brother?
Yeah, Ernie Reyes Jr. He was, I can't remember which Ninja Turtle he was, which costume he wore in the first movie, but then he was Keanu in the second one, the pizza delivery guy.
Oh, got you, man. Got you. Okay, cool.
And he was in Surf Ninjas too, which you apparently haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, dog. Yep, got you.
So all good though. But yeah, so that for me is one that 100% it has to be on my list. Will always be on my list.
Michelangelo, 10 flips now.
Yeah.
Mandy, a lovely story, man. This so what this come out in 90, 91?
Yeah, right around then, yeah.
Man, so this was at Cole Square 3 again, man.
Nice.
Me and my cousin Murphy, man, love you, dog. Man, it was about our third or fourth time going to watch it, man.
Nice.
And man, we were just scheming for probably like a week in advance, man. Oh yeah, we're gonna go watch it again. Oh man, scheming little guys.
Nice.
And man, so of course the first step, man. My butt lived in Wheatland, so we were able to meet. Hey, I'd like to stay with Murphy or whatever. Of course, meet up in Cheyenne where he lives. That was the first step. The second step, and of course his mom knew what we were up to, and she's like, if you guys go to that movie again, you guys are both getting a spanking. I'm like, nah,
it'd be worth it.
All good. Yeah. Of course we already have money because we saved up money from like the 2 or other 3 that we went to.
Yeah.
And of course his mama had something to do that night until about, I don't know, 9-10, so we went to the 7 o'clock. And the brother was chilling watching his MTV. He's like, do you mind if we get a ride to? Yeah, I got you. Cool. And man, of course we're bad nerding out with the Ninja Turtles action, man. And as soon as we get out, man, son of a mama's chilling out just with the evil death stare. We're like, son of a. And of course we get the chewing out verbally. We didn't get physically beat. And then, of course we're chilling in the back. And after we got chewed out, we looked at each other. Yes. Oh yeah.
Hella worth it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. Heck yeah, man. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, let me get my list out here. What do we got here? So to round out the top half of my top 10, falling in at number 6 will be Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
Kind of a cheesy pick as far as everything. I know it's super. A lot of people hate on this because it's super CGI. It's super, whatever. It's got everybody in it. Of course, it's gonna be good, right? Well, yeah, it was fucking good, in my opinion. This was the culmination of 20 years. This is the one I didn't revert back to the beginning for me and say I'm gonna go with Iron Man 1 instead of Endgame. Endgame was and still is incredible. If it's on TV, I will watch it. Doesn't matter what part of it's at. I stop what I'm doing and watch it. man, it just encompasses so much, man. It really, really, really does for me. There's so much going on in it. There's so many characters that we've spent our years, the last 20 years growing with, loving and seeing, and so I get that a lot of people may not fall really in line with that, but it's all these characters. It's even after the fact still moving forward. And I just think cinematically, the storytelling and honestly just the planning that Marvel did to make all of these movies over 20 years come together in and of itself for me is reason enough to put it in there. I get that it's not going to be this over the top award-winning movie for, best actor, best actress, best this, best that, or whatever. And it doesn't need to be. I'm not an awards chaser when it usually comes to that. A lot of times I feel like the movies that are winning awards, I question how, but it doesn't matter. My opinion is just what it is. It's mine and mine, only. But for me, it definitely does, man. Endgame is going to hold out my number 6 slot because it just has to, man. It's like I said, for me, it's the culmination of 20 years of cinema and 20 years of following superheroes that I've loved since I was a kid. So how could it not be, in my opinion? That's where I leave off with that one.
Mandy, my dumbass, I might ask you this the other day. Endgame is, of course, the second part of the end of phase 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. I'll be honest, brother. As a grown ass man, dog, whatever that came out, 40 years old, man. I'll be honest, man, that especially spoiler alert, I'm sure y'all have seen it, but when Iron Man took the fall, man, especially when Cap said, kind of tested him at the very beginning, who's going to take the fall when we need it. Right. Of course he does.
Called him out on it, yep.
Man, especially during his funeral, man, that choked me up, man.
Yeah.
It choked me up, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
3 times, I can count 3 times that I've been probably the most choked up at a movie would be Tony Stark dying.
Yeah.
Back to this most recent Spider-Man when Garfield actually got the chance to redeem himself and catch Zendaya when she fell. The look on his face is crushing to the soul.
That gives me goosebumps, dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
That and the end of I can't even remember which one it is now because there's so many Fast and Furious movies, but the one at the end, the one that Paul Walker died during, and they kind of do that tribute to him and stuff. That one's tough to sit through.
Yep.
For sure.
Hear you, man. Hear you. Yep.
But yeah, man, that's what I got. That's my top half of my top 10 current favorite movies. Make sure you guys subscribe to both channels. Like I said, I'm going to be posting this on the Sector 7 podcast as well as the Ghost Arcade. And we will get into the bottom half, the 1 through 5 for both of us. Looking forward. Sit tight.